you could hear the toy music playing there, and this was a really fun maze. It reminds me of Toys of Terror over at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Just kind of this over-the-top toy, clown, colorful, crazy world that they bring you into. So this is Toy Factory, and you can hear that song last year about this time as we were making our way in there. After we made our way through and that song just gets in your head, I ended up pulling up iTunes and buying it because it just sticks in your head, and so it's in my Halloween soundtrack for the year. All right, let's head on into the Toy Factory. I love that maze, really, and I mean, it's such a fun, kind of silly one. And the actors just have such a great time with it. Just they're silly, over the top, but yet they kind of have a foreboding way about them in a sinister way. It's not all playful, it's definitely creepy as well. And they really do a good job of pulsing to keep you kind of separated, and the actors really do a great job of scaring forward. So good stuff there. All right, on to the next stop. All right, next up we have a real classic for us, or I should say a classic, but one we really love. Cornstalkers. This was a long maze last year. This went on forever. So we'll just have a few snippets in it. It was also very dark, so we're going to give you probably like 5% of what this maze is. So what I really like about this one is how, I mean, it feels like we're out in the middle of the cornfields. And that's just a ton of fun and something that's really rare in a theme park. You know, you've got the capacity sign 758, but for it to feel like you are in something that is, you know, out in some farming area as you make your way into the corn stalks, it's pretty cool. that is a really, really kick-butt maze. I mean, it is super long. I mean, like I said, I'll give you like 5% of it. Goes on, and it is just full of ominous pathway after ominous pathway. Long stretches without actors, but it just adds, unlike some houses where it's like, hey, what's going on? Where's the actors at? This, it adds to the atmosphere because you've got all sorts of figures throughout there. It's a really, really strong maze. And the way they make you feel, I mean, just a little bit of that toys sound bleeds in, but for the most part, it's pretty silent throughout. It's pretty incredible for a theme park, so good stuff. Good stuff. All right, this is our last scare zone that we are visiting tonight, called Underground Alley. This is the spot last year where they had all of the cars, which was a really cool thing. It was like a zombie outbreak on the freeway. This, I'm not quite sure what the theme is, but the actors are going out loud, and there's some neat looking in here. Not many set pieces in there, not a lot to work with, but the actors work with what they have. And then as we get out to this part of it, it's tough to see, but there's some black light there, some structures, and it has the facade. We're actually kind of coming in the back side of it. There we go, there's our underground alley. There. Tough to pick up though with the color there, or with the darkness there. Oh my God! All right, on to the next spot. All right, so now we are making our way into Massacre Manor, which has totally eluded us as we've walked by a few times today, because there is no signage anywhere that it's down here, which now that we know where we're at, kind of adds to, I guess, the atmosphere a little bit. But it's also weird, then you hit and there's no sign here, like, where's the fright lane? Like, I think actually right now we're on the wrong side, maybe, of it, or not, I don't know. It's just crazy, but yeah, it's buried down back here, so I guess that maybe adds a little to the foreboding nature. Alright, so we're making our way through this construction zone, and it all is making a little more sense now why it's so sealed off. But yeah, we were on the other side, we were on both sides, we're asking people, and it is definitely hidden away practically in front of it, and it's hard to see it just peeking out over these buildings, or I'm sorry, these construction walls. So that's it. We have fond memories of this one from last year. Heading on in. Definitely worth the wait. It was really dark in there, so it was hard to pick up much. It didn't shoot much. Again, we're just doing snippets here and there, but has a really nice kind of New Orleans meets Haunted Mansion type vibe. A little bit of, for Southern California people, familiar with Willoughby's and Voodoo, maybe kind of smashed up together. A little bit of both, and so the best of both. So with that said, I think we have 2 more mazes we're going to try and hit, although we're down to like the last half hour of the night, so we'll see what we can do. Alright, now we've made our way into Roadkill. Not much to see on the exterior in terms of facade and all that, at least not where we were entering at the Bright Lane entrance. So we just headed on in as we're trying to finish out this park tonight. We will be back for a second night, which is really nice. We never have that luxury of being able to come back the next day. It's always on to the next place. But we will be back tomorrow night too, so we'll see what sort of content we add. But this is a super dark maze. Not much being able to be seen on your end, but honestly not much being able to be seen on my end either. Pretty dark.
Oh, Jesus!
So this is about as much light as you're gonna get in here. Yeah, it's interesting because it has a lot of similarities thematically to, or just the feel of the types of characters and the set pieces and stuff of what they do with Red Barn, but different. They don't really make it so that you can see much of anything in here. Like this room, this is great, adding that type of lighting, but more than not, it's just kind of almost blackout rooms with very difficult to see pieces. I'd like to see it lit up a bit more so you could appreciate, because there's some neat pieces in here and a lot of actors doing great work. It's kind of tough to see it. Alright, so okay maze, not a real standout, and again, not because there weren't some great pieces in there and some great acting, but just the darkness obscured it so much, and it was tough to really appreciate much of it. So got blood drums still rolling over there. We're making our way to the last maze of the night, which is where we actually started our whole series with the behind the scenes at Backwoods. So we're making our way over there. Here's those graves of past haunted attractions. This is a really cool thing that they do here to celebrate the past. Park's only 10 years, I'm sorry, the haunt event is only 10 years old, but they already are appreciating the past. That's kind of fun. All right, we're gonna make our way to Backwoods. Alright, we made it back to this awesome entry point, and now we are here near Star Tower, and we are going to head into Backwoods again. That's where we began. If you didn't check out that video on the channel, it was the first in today's Haunt Talk series, where we went through with the maze designer, heard a little bit of the background of it, and got a little lights on look as well.
Simple. Figure it out. 5 people have died in a week. 5, 7, 57, a factor of 3. I'm going to be the 6th one to die. I figured it out. And then the Roulier in math. Pringling mong yasa, Titulo Roulier, wag na akong patagin. Yes? Pringling mong yasa, Titulo Roulier. Oh, welcome to the family, y'all! We'd love to have y'all for supper.
The way they've lit this is great, and obviously the actors add a lot, but versus when we went through the first time, the show lighting was not anything like what it is now. It definitely enhances things quite a bit. Gives the actors a lot more to work with in terms of kind of the angles and the coloration. That's good. I like that quite a bit. Alright, good stuff there as we're wrapping this up. We are going to check out if there's a closing moment tonight, and we'll probably put that on its own video on the channel that you can find if there is a good one. And then as I said, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll pick up more video as we find fun things to share, but we won't be doing the full-on talk series. We will be podcasting, though, between tonight and tomorrow night, all about Halloween Haunt here at California's Great America. So check it out on iTunes and Stitcher if you're interested. Also on the channel we have tons of playlists for haunt stuff, so if that's your thing, lots and lots there and lots more coming as we are going to be hitting all sorts of professional and home haunts in the months to come, in addition to many more trips to the parks. So with that being said, I'm gonna kind of wrap up here with our last shot being in this kind of psychotic layout here. Such a great entry statement for the park. Great way to enter a Halloween event. Definitely a great way to exit a Halloween event as well. So wrapping up here for our Haunt Talk series on opening night, California's Great America, their 10th anniversary 2017. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.